it's that time again. I am just checking on Facebook. Wouldn't be me if I didn't check on Facebook. Humpty-tum, tum-ty-tum. Yes, I'm there. Good. Okay. Hello. I hope you're all having a fan-dabby-dozy day. That's interesting. I've got someone going live on my group page. Oh, maybe not. Right. Apparently Facebook is now having a little hissy fit with me. So I will log into my business page again. I hope you're all well. Today is officially autumn. Just saying. As ever, if you could let us all know where you're from, what time of day it is, all that good stuff. Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I know we have had issues with volume in the past. I'll let you all have a little bit of time to jump on board, and then we will get started. Hello Jane, hello Jan. It's a lovely sunny day today. I've got some gardening I need to do later on. So yes, we have our garden waste collection on a Thursday morning. So I am trying to get some stuff done ready for that. I've got to do prickly hedges. Don't like doing prickly hedges. Hi Jackie. It is water, I promise you. It's not vodka. Hi Nora. Hi Claire, I can see Claire has joined. Lorna has joined. So, any of you who are on my mailing list will have had notification of the flash sale. That is 24 hours, and in the UK it starts at 11 o'clock tonight. So if you're a night owl, I would recommend looking tonight. So it's coffee and chocolate. I like the coffee idea, Jackie, not so much the chocolate. So yes, the flash sale starts tonight at 11 p.m. UK time. If you're in Europe, it's midnight. If you're in any other part of the world, it's whenever it is in your part of the world. There are a number of stamp sets from the annual catalogue that are going to be 15% off, so that's always good news. What I would just say is if any of them are in bundles, it is more cost effective for you to buy the bundle than to buy the stamp set at 15% off and then the other item. I say it is check. I'm just thinking if there are any punches that are not expensive punches, that may not be true. But just check. I would hate you to get 15% off your stamp set and then it end up costing you more than buying the bundle. Anyone who is contemplating joining Stamping Up, I believe, but do not quote me on this, that these stamp sets that are in the sale you can add to your starter kit and benefit from that discount. So who has joined? So Claire, yes. Jackie, yes. We've got coffee and chocolate. Wendy, good morning. Jeanette, good morning. So yes, do check. What I would say is if you are looking to join and you've already got your joining list, your starter kit list sorted, I would not necessarily go back to scratch. What I would say is if any of the stamp sets are on the 15% off list, you may want to just wait and do it from 11 o'clock tonight until 11 o'clock tomorrow, so that you can benefit, assuming it does transfer across. Generally it does. You may get a little bit more in your starter kit. That's all I'm saying. Jan is writing her list of stamp sets. Yay! So yes, so exciting news. I had a new member join last night. So that was fantastic. She and I have been corresponding by messenger for a couple of weeks now. And she's local. She lives in Abingdon. So yeah. Morning, Margaret. So, yes, she posted on a Facebook group, does anyone know a Stampin' Up demonstrator in the area? And she was in Abingdon. And one of my teammates very kindly tagged me. And here we are, which is always good news. So that brings me nicely on to the Get and Go starter kit. So anyone, wherever you are in the world, the Get and Go starter kit is available until the end of September. So you get your usual starter kit, and it's slightly different depending on where you are in the world, so I won't quote figures for everywhere, but for the UK it's £130 of product for £99 free shipping, and if you're in Europe it's €129 for €175 of product. Plus you automatically, please do not put them in your starter kit because they will be there automatically, Queen Anne's lace and So Much Love, plus a pack of rhinestones, plus 16 card kits ready cut for you. All you need to do is add the ink and some blocks and you're away. So that is a fantastic deal. I worked out that it's about £75 of free stuff if you include the £31 that you get free in the starter kit anyway, plus the free stamp sets and rhinestones. I haven't included the cardstock in that. So Wendy says, I'm hoping it does. I have a shopping basket ready for tonight. You're hoping it does what, Wendy? You're already a member. So I don't quite understand what you mean, because you're already in my team. So the 15% doesn't impact you. I'm confused. Hi, Renee. So yes, so that's the Get and Go. What else can I tell you? PayPal is now working on the UK site. So that's good news. It was supposed to be working from the 1st of the month. I had someone place an order using PayPal yesterday. So, and she confirmed that it used PayPal without any problems at all. So that was good. So yes, it's all exciting stuff. As ever, I'm going to go through the whole live, not live bit, because I'm still getting people getting confused. So this is a Facebook Live. I am doing this on Tuesday, the 22nd of September at 11 o'clock-ish, 11 o'clock UK time. Thank you, Lorna. You're ahead of me. So if you are watching and there is a red live tag at the top left-hand corner, yes, left-hand corner of your screen, you're watching live, and that's great. And if you leave a comment, I can talk to you about what your comment says. If you're on Facebook and there is no live in the top left-hand corner, you're watching on replay. So if you leave a comment, I will try and pick it up later, but I won't be talking to you about it. I will be responding with text. Thank you, Renee, for sharing. Thank you, Lorna, for sharing. If you are watching the replay, either on Facebook or if you're watching at all on YouTube, it's a replay. If you have a specific question and you tag me, you can't actually tag me on YouTube. I'll see your comment. But if you're on Facebook and you tag me and you need a response, tag me in the comments so I know that you need a response. That helps me just not have to read all of the comments in the coming couple of weeks. So that would be a great help. If any of that made sense, please let me know. So, hello Elizabeth Knox from Melbourne. Hello Wendy Davis-Steed from Wales. So if you share the video, either from Facebook or from YouTube, please leave a comment saying shared. People are already doing that, so thank you very much. If you leave a comment on both, you get 2 entries into the prize draw, which you have 2 weeks to share the video. And if you share it in both YouTube and on Facebook, you get 2 entries into the prize draw. I've already drawn the prize for this morning. It will go live as a post at midday. So I already know who the winner is. So that's always good. Can't remember where I put the prize, however. Oh, there it is. Found it. All right, I found it. So today I am busking, just for a change. I'll say it before you do. We're using the Turnovers stamp set. This is in the August-December catalogue. I think it's not been very well loved. It's one of the reversibles, so I thought we'd play with this just for a change. Hope the price is automatically reduced when I'm in your order. Oh, okay, Wendy, sorry. Yes, I understand now. I hope they do too. I don't know. If they don't automatically, when you come to place your order, if it doesn't automatically show the reduction by the time you get to the checkout, do give it the chance to get to checkout. If it still hasn't deducted, you may want to drop them and add them back in. I don't know whether it will do it automatically. Sorry. Morning, Candy. So yes, I'm using the Turnovers. I have done some prep, but time as ever ran away with me. So I'm going to do some of it one way and some of it another. Sorry, my brain is gone. So the first thing we're going to do is, the first thing I need to do is get some more water. Oh, bear with me one moment. Fortunately, I have a bottle of water in my studio. I don't have a tap in my studio. Just realised I need a spritzer and I haven't got any water in my spritzer. Well, I have, but about a quarter of a teaspoonful, so that's fine. I can add some more. I hope you do look at our mini spritzers. They are amazing and they're so inexpensive. Little tiny things. I think you get 2 in a pack. I think. And they're, I don't know, something under £3, something like that. Let me grab my catalogue. Oh, do let me know, is the volume all right? Hi, Kate. Dot Fox is now joining. That's lovely. So, spritz, sponges, bread, stamping. Spritzers, page 147. So yes, do let me know if there's a problem with the volume, because we have had a couple of weeks where that's been an issue. I'm trying to enunciate and project. So number 11. No, it's not number 11. That's the painters. It's number 13. Unlucky for some. Yes, you get 2 and they're £2.75. Volume's fine. Thank you, Lorna. Always useful to know. Right, okay, I'm going to do the whole flipping you down. I still find that a weird thing to say. I'm going to point the camera towards my workspace. I'm thinking of, thank you, Jackie, I'm thinking of changing my layout. So I might end up with it being over there. Just on my desk, but that's excellent. Wendy shared the video with her daughter Kate, and Kate is here. It works, isn't it wonderful? So yes, the reason I'm thinking moving things around is because I know I keep saying this, I want to end up with being able to show you my workspace and my face, and also have intros and outros. I've got the software, I just need to get the setup sorted out, and then practice the setup. But at the moment, where I am at the moment, it's not practical to do that. But if I switch so that I'm facing that way, it might work. So that's the plan, along with everything else. Right, I'm going to flip you down. So I'm going to cover you up so that hopefully it's not too dizzy making. Okay, so as ever, you get to see some of the rubbish on my desk. and I want you reasonably flat so that we're not fish-eyed too much. Okay, now, just to remind you, I cannot zoom this camera. I am trying to get into the habit of zooming when I do my YouTubes, if I'm doing anything small, but I can't zoom this camera because it's just a camera. It's a webcam, so it doesn't have that facility. So, as I say, we're using the turnovers. Now, I have done some prep. What I'm going to do is not use those first, if that makes sense. Actually, no, I will use those first. So I will show you what I have done. So we're going to get mucky, and then we're going to not be mucky. So I'll show you on a couple of these stamps, and then you'll get the idea of how it all works, and we can go from there. I just need to adjust what I can see on my computer, because I'm more likely to spot your comments on my computer than on my phone. Right, so I've got some shimmery white cardstock and a protective mat. Now, the turnovers work in an interesting way. So this is the one I'm going to show you how to do it with. I can't speak this morning. Anyway, so the turnovers are reversibles. There aren't that many reversibles in the catalogue, but there are some. Mountain Air, is it Mountain Air? That is a reversible. I remembered it right. It is called Mountain Air. That is a reversible. That's a reversible that isn't really a reversible because it doesn't actually stamp exactly over the top, but there are reversibles in the catalogue. So you will find that they are thicker than most photopolymer. So I'm going to try and get it vaguely in focus. It's supposed to autofocus, but of course it's not. That's not bad, I suppose. So they are quite thick. So I'm going to pop it down the wrong way up. So I've got the flat, like the back of the stamp showing. As I say, I've got some shimmer white cardstock. You could use watercolor paper as well, but I'm using shimmer white. And I've got a cherry cobbler and a shaded spruce Stampin' Right marker. And I'm just going to colour some areas with each of them. I'm not going to be colouring next to each other, so don't, I mean, next to each other, yes, but not overlapping. So that's my shaded spruce, and what I mean is I'm not going into the other colour. If you do that, make sure that you clean your marker off immediately afterwards, and if you've got a lighter colour and a darker colour, put the lighter colour down first. Now, in an ideal world, I would do this at quite a distance, but so you can see it, I'm not. So I'm bringing my spritzer quite a, let's see if I can get it in camera and still far enough away. Just about, except I now can't see where I'm spraying. Not really. Okay, so we'll just have to do it closer. Right, so that's now quite wet, possibly too wet. Just going to take a wee bit of the water off. You want it wet but not dripping. And then just take your stamp and stamp. And you get this weird effect. So that is that one. I'm going to do it in some different colours just so that you can see some different colours, but not ones that I've used previously. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different stamp. So I've got the bat. The bat's quite cute, actually. You've gone terribly quiet, all of you. So I've got the bat. I'm going to do something slightly different with this. So this one's got to sit and dry. This one I'm going to ink up with an ordinary ink pad. And I'm using a Pretty Peacock. So ink that up. Don't have to be particularly precise. Doesn't matter if it's not brilliantly done. And again, you want to spritz. And it's a little bit wet because I'm too close. I would actually be doing it at arm's length. And again, stamp, come up. You get some amazing effects. Unfortunately, they're not the bits we're going to be seeing. Oh, however, and then just make sure that's dry before you put it the other way up. And I've got rich raspberry. You're still here. Good. Thank you, Wendy. It's always nice to know. So rich raspberry. So I've inked that up. And I'm going to spritz a little bit more. Because again, I want it wet. Probably too wet again. And stamp. This does curl, so stamp again. And again, that's going to smush. But it gets, again, we're not going to use, well, we are going to use that bit, but not specifically. So again, you need to let that dry. And this is where I have done a Blue Peter special. Hi, Sue! So yes, Blue Peter special I have prepared earlier. Quite a lot of bits. Let me get rid of all of this. I don't need it anymore. And, right, so I'm going to start with these, which are, so this one here turns into this. So all I've done is I have taken, I've waited for this to dry. I did blitz it a bit because I was running late. Then I put a lot of embossing buddy. I know we don't sell it anymore. Cornflour works quite well. Thank you, Renee. I'm glad that we've got 21 people here. Morning, Sarah. I say morning. Hello, Sarah. So I've used embossing buddy. Then I've stamped with Versamark over the same shape. So this is the bottom, this is the top, and then embossed with silver embossing powder, which I'm hoping you can sort of see. I hope ringing the hospital was not bad news. Hi, Emma. So this all needs to dry. But in the meantime, I have already prepped some bits that we can make some cards with. So I've got 2 card bases all ready to go. This is using, can't remember the name. This is using the 'Tis the Season 6x6 Designer Series paper, which has colours that are surprisingly cherry cobbler and shaded spruce. It's also got real red and garden green. So you can either go for the, what I would think of as cooler colours, which are the cherry cobbler and shaded spruce, or you can go for the warmer colours, which I think of as the garden green and the real red. And if I was using the warmer colours, I would use gold. Right, so you know me, I like fussy cutting. So this is what I was hoping to have prepped beforehand. And I ran out of time. I actually got to a point where I couldn't remember how to go live. Isn't that just so sad? Facebook keep changing stuff. I don't mind them changing stuff, but I wish they wouldn't change stuff just as I've learnt the new thing. But they did. Oh, and here's the thing. So any of you on Pinterest, I believe that there is currently a bit of an issue with the Pinterest UK site. So just so you're aware. If you don't already follow me on Pinterest, you may want to have a look at that. Just so you're... see, I post all the pictures that I've loaded onto my blog, plus some extra bits and pieces. So, yeah. I particularly, if I don't have a particular stamp set and I see that someone else has done something really cute with that stamp set, I will pin it to my boards. So, you may want to go and check those out. And guess what my Pinterest name is? That'll be Liz Yuille, Old Stables Crafts. I go for repetition. It's easier that way. So these are the other ones that I have already done. And you can see they're really easy to just cut out. I might actually just make one of these cards because I then want to do something else to show you some more fun stuff with them. So, there we go. And the other one is this one. Now, you possibly notice that I don't go into a straight corner or anything like that when I fussy cut. I kind of go in rounded because I find that easier. I find you're less likely to get a sharp kind of, I don't know. I don't think that when you're fussy cutting you want pointed edges. So I find going in at a low angle avoids that. So this is what I mean by a low angle. Let me just trim that off. Right, okay, so we'll do one. I'll use that one because it's going to show the... Ooh, no, actually. Oh, decisions. No, don't like that. No, we'll go that way because that's going to show it up a bit better. Right, okay, so this is Cherry Cobbler. Hi, Claudette. Hi, Carol Ann. When do you have your fan on? It's nice here. I wouldn't say it was that nice. Right, so garden green. Just in case you didn't believe that there was garden green in this. So this is Stampin' Seal. I love it. There is a love-hate. I probably say this so many times. There is a bit of a love-hate relationship with seal. I think it's one of those things you have to get the knack, and once you've got the knack, it's fine. It's not beautifully square, but it'll do. Right, now, shaded spruce ribbon. From this suite, I believe. I believe I'm right in saying that. So I'm going to add some shaded spruce ribbon across the middle. Because I can. So if you have a problem with... Ooh, actually... I quite like that. Right, so I'm going to do shaded spruce and metallic mesh. Because I can. If you have a problem with seal, you may want to try Seal Plus, which is, you know, seal on steroids. So I'm going to just add... You do sometimes, and you know, it's a tape runner. Don't do what I've just done and flick out to the side, because then you lose a bit of your tape runner. You do sometimes have to roll it on, but it's a tape runner, so that's kind of, you know, expected. So I am going to go... I'm just going to line up with my grid paper. So if I line up, so long as this is square, I've got this on a line, I can then bring this across, add a reasonable amount of tension, and then flip that over. Add some more Seal Plus, because we're going to stick the mesh on as well. Now the mesh is actually a bit wider, so I'm going to add a bit of extra. But on the basis that I've used... on the basis that I have used silver embossing powder, I'm going to add some more silver. Good morning, Ken. Hope you're well. I think we all need to use more ribbon, Wendy. I'm really bad at using ribbon, and as bearing in mind that my ribbon dispenser is immediately in front of me, I still don't use enough ribbon. I'm trying to get into the habit of using it more, but who knows. Right, I'm bringing in a Cherry Cobbler card base. So it's half a sheet of A4. For those of you in the US, 8.5 by 11, half sheet. Obviously, if you're in the US, you're going to be slightly fatter and slightly shorter on your cards. But it's the same basic principle. I do, just so as a reminder, I do always put the dimensions on my website. So this will go onto my website later in the week. And I do always add the dimensions, and I convert them to American sizes. And by convert, I don't mean I just do it in inches. You will see if you go to my website that you'll find dimensions for international A4 card, both in imperial inches and metric centimeters. And for North American cardstock, I will actually do it ready for the slightly shorter, slightly fatter. Wendy, could you spray glue to stick the mesh? I'm getting the mesh later. I wouldn't. A, I only use Stampin' Up products, and spray glue isn't. And B, it's so fine. Basically, all you're going to end up with is a sticky mess, because it will end up on the front. So no, I wouldn't use spray glue on the mesh. You could try it, but I don't think it would be particularly successful. So then all I'm going to do is just add these with dimensionals. And I'm not going to go mad with my dimensionals because I don't think we need to. That probably, I need 2 on there, so let's just move that down a wee bit. One of the advantages of the shimmer white cardstock is that because it's been rolled to within an inch of its life, if you do get your dimensional in the wrong place, it's really easy to peel it up again. I'm going to use mini dimensionals. Must get another pack out. That's actually, I've got another pack out, but yes, I am running low on this sheet of mini dimensionals. So I'm just doing top and bottom, mostly because they've been heat embossed and sprayed and all those sorts of things. I just want to make sure that they're relatively flat. So short, fat, long, thin. I think there. It is quite busy. That's my only hesitation with this. So I'm having a think. I'm pink, therefore I'm spam. I'm having a think. I wonder. Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some scraps of, I think, cherry cobbler. So these would actually be better on a plain card base. I shouldn't have put the designer series paper down, but you know, what comes of planning what you're going to do on your Facebook Live? Not. Right, so 3 little bits of cherry cobbler. That's a very good idea, Wendy. March. Yeah, glue dots or tear and tape. It's just, I can see such a sticky mess. So I'm just going to pop those. So these I'm going to stick straight down. I'm going to use Seal Plus for the one that's going there, I think. So let's see if we've got one there, and one there. Yeah. Okay. So yes, Seal Plus on this one, so that it's got a better chance of actually sticking over the ribbon. Right, so when you're doing things like this, you want to do the 2 outside edges and then your middle, so that you can get your middle even. So I'm going to come up here with that one, overlap the edge a little bit, and then I can put this one. That's about level and even and all those good things. Right, okay, so short, fat. Now, if we had, and we don't, See, if I'd have planned this, I would have done this slightly differently. But when did I ever plan? See, what's really weird is I'm about 30 seconds ahead of you, which I still find a bit weird. So yes, you'd need to put a liner in, and that's where I put my sentiment, but there we are, that's that one. It's just, you know, I've made the things, therefore I'm using the things. Right, okay, so that's that one. I've also done the pumpkins, so I'm going to grab just a couple of those. So I did these as much the same way. So this I did in the same way. I did it in pumpkin pie and then Cajun craze. So pumpkin pie for the base, Cajun craze on top, and then gold. Ditto. These I did a mix, and they haven't really worked particularly well. It depends on the look you're going for. So I think I prefer the do it solid, do it outline, both in wet, rather than doing wet on wet. I know what I mean. So rather than stamping, so rather than doing this for the pumpkins, I liked doing the solid and then the outline. So like I did with the bat. That's what I'm trying to say. So again, really easy to fussy cut these. These are not difficult. Now, before we all get really concerned about all the fussy cutting, for Valentine's or the hearts, the Heart Punch Duo, that was in the anyway, the last mini catalogue, and are now in the annual catalogue. They work with these stamps. This is only showing at 75% size, by the way. So, yes, don't stress that they can't possibly be the right size. But the punches do work with the heart turnovers, not turnarounds. I keep thinking they're called turnarounds or turnabouts, and they're not. So, right, okay, now, I've got some of the plaid tidings paper, so I've got two patterns, and I think, yeah, no, happy. Right, so this is pretty much every colour you could imagine. We have got a choice of black, Cajun craze, cherry cobbler, cinnamon cider, mango melody, melon mambo, can you believe melon mambo, misty moonlight, pretty peacock, pumpkin pie, rich raspberry, seaside spray, shaded spruce, and white. So I'm going to cut this down, and I'm going to cut a strip of that. I'm going to pop this on a Cajun craze mat. She says, famous last words, Cajun craze mat. And I'm going to go, I think, pretty peacock for my card, which means I need a piece of card because I haven't pre-cut that. So I'm going pretty peacock Cajun craze. So I'm never too worried about doing some of the basics on these lives. So sheet of card, whether you're using international A4 or whether you are using North American cardstock, whether you're going short fat for your card or long thin. So short fat, long thin. I'm going to cut long thin. I would always do my scoring first. So I'm going to score at 14.8 something centimetres. The one thing about international A4, it's a rubbish length. 29.7 centimetres, something like that. It's only 21 centimetres wide, so that's easy, 10.5. So that means I've got two card bases from one score, one cut, which for me makes sense. Right, I don't know why I'm putting that away because I need it. So I'm going to cut this at, I'm going to go fat again. So 3 5/8. And as I say, I'm going to have these measurements on my website. And 5 3/8. I always cut the short side first, particularly with 6x6, because that means you get a better leftover piece. So it's longer. Otherwise, your leftover piece, this leftover piece, would be that long, and you just have this long strip, which to me doesn't make sense. I think this is a more effective way of cutting. And this, I am just going to cut. Where's a pumpkin? There's a pumpkin. So my pumpkin is about 1 1/4 inches high, this one. Yeah. So I'm going to cut at a sensible place on the pattern that is about 1 1/4 inches high. By that I mean I want my pattern to be symmetric top and bottom, so I need to go a little bit further out, or a little bit nearer in, so I need to go there. As you see, this is not accurate, you know, to a precise. It just then means that if I was to cut this here, you'd end up with 2 pieces the same. It just makes me feel happier that way, but that's just me. So again, quick, I'm going to go seal. You do not need to go all the way around the edge of your card. This is a good permanent adhesive. One of the things to remember, particularly with the seal, is that if you put it onto, whichever thing you put it onto, so I've put it on the paper, it will have a tendency to want to stay attached to the paper. What do I mean? So if I pop this down, this is going to go so wrong. If I pop this down and touch it, it's theoretically attached. So that's wrong. I don't want to do that. So I can then peel it off and it will stay on this rather than this. This is particularly important if you're using the tins and you're sticking paper onto the tins. And if, like me, you like to do one project, then peel it off and do another project, if you stick the adhesive to your paper, it will stay on your paper when you then try and pull it off, rather than making your tin all mucky. So I'm going to pop that, again, as square as I can on my pattern. So I've got a little black line there. I would have a black line there if it wasn't for the fact it's cut off. In fact, let me do it. I've got black line, black line. So can I get it so you can see? I don't think I can. But you can see this white pattern. I'm putting it so that it's going to be the same both ends, is what I'm trying to say. So this I am going to put a huge piece just across the middle and down the sides because I want it to stick. So again, let's line up our card with the grid paper, decide where our pattern's going to be, and load, aim, fire. So that is now square with on the pattern with the card. And then just trim from the back. And once I've done this one, I'm then going to do what I would call more sensible stamping with these turnovers. So we've got that. I think I'm going to pop. Am I going to pop this up? I think I might pop this up and then have these flat. I think. I was thinking I might use black, but I don't seem to have any large black, and we would be here forever if I used the mini blacks. Right, okay. And then the only other thing I'm going to want to do is a sentiment, I think. I think something autumnal. I'm not going, this isn't Halloween for me, this is autumnal. So I will just go and grab in a moment something autumnal that I can use. Now I'm just going to fold this first, just in case one of these sides is longer than the other. I like to have the slightly longer one at the front. Just suits me better. And we are talking, you know, a couple of millimeters, if that. So that's that. Then those can go there. And then I just want a sentiment. No, I'm going to go American and happy fall, y'all. Because if I use happy Thanksgiving, that's going to be just as American. There we go. Oh, no, it's that one I want. Right, so this is the banner year. So I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go Pretty Peacock again. One piece of Pretty Peacock. So, and I'm going to heat emboss. Block. This is way large. And gold. I've only got a tiny bit of gold embossing powder in my bin, so this is going to be fun. No, I'm going to go really narrow. Ooh, and I've just had another thought, which may or may not work, but I have just had another thought. Probably a bit late in the day for it, but hey. So as you can see, I am nearly out of gold embossing powder. I do have some more. I'm just... embossing powder does sometimes kind of go off a bit, so I'm trying to get this down as low as possible before I put a new tub on it. Thank you, Jane. So let's blast, which means I need my thing. Don't need that anymore. So I'm just heating up my heat gun. Like that. And get rid of that. Pair of snips. Right. Shall I use the guillotine? Yes, I think I will. So, my mini chopper. I could cut this by hand, but it's a little long even for me. I think I've just chopped the top of the H off, but no, it's fine. It's fine. Right, okay, so that's going to go there, that's going to go there. Yeah, right, so let's stick this one down. Could use glue, but let's not. So I'm going to pop that one down. And then I'm going to pop this down. If you get any adhesive coming over the side, just flick it back. And have that. Let's do it centrally. Like that. And then That can go over the top. Turn my card over. Hi, Audrey. Hi, Margaret. How is Scotland? Is it sunny? Because you're both in Scotland. So there is that one. So same idea as the last one, but with the pumpkins. So now let's do something that doesn't involve water. I'm going to actually do proper stamping. So I've got my scraps of Whisper White. I have got some of the Halloween paper. So this is the Magic in This Night, which I love. Just saying, love it. So I think I'm going to go batty. So let's find my bat stamp, which I have now. Oh, it's right in front of me. So you can do this either way up. So you can either do it the outline first and then the liner, or you can do it the other way around. I'm going to do the outline first and then the inside. Now this is quite a floppy stamp because it's narrow. So one of the things you have to bear in mind with photopolymer is that you can actually bend it. What you want to do is only bend it when you want to bend it, particularly if you're using a stamp where you want to fill in. So if it's a two-step stamp, which is effectively what these are. Some of our reversibles aren't, strictly speaking, two-step. Looking like it's going to rain at any moment. Sorry. For us, today is our last nice day that's promised or expected. Tomorrow, I think, is wet and 15 degrees. Today, 25. Tomorrow, 15. Rich Raspberry and Pretty Peacock, because that's the colours that are in the paper. I'm just looking for a piece of scrap because I want to do some stamping off. So I'm going to do a few of these. So now Rich Raspberry does beautifully stain your stamp, but hey, who cares? Dull and overcast with you, better than the West Coast. Yeah, Margaret is west of you, I think, Audrey. She overlooks the Clyde. So, right. In overlooking, or the other side of the river from Helensburgh. My family used to come from Helensburgh back in the day. So it's kind of one of those strange things. We didn't know that we had a geographic connection until Margaret joined my team. Right, so I've turned the stamp over. Do be careful that it's dry and that you've got a clean block when you have them the solid way up, because there's not as much to attach to the block. So I'm going to ink that up, stamp it off, and then stamp over. And the reason I've done it that way is because it's going to be easier for me to see, particularly as I knew I was going to stamp off, it's going to be easier for me to see the Rich Raspberry through the Pretty Peacock than the other way around, probably. Although this doesn't line up within the lines, it lines up around the lines, so it's not as difficult. So we've got our 3 bats. You know me, I like even numbers. So just clean that off. Right, sorry, it's fussy cutting time again. So for the bat, I'm actually going to follow the outline of the solid image, which is a much easier outline to follow, and I'm going to cut it so that hopefully I don't have any white showing, because I don't really want the white showing. It's not the end of the day. If it's there, we can always go over it, but it's what sponge daubers were made for, frankly. I mean, it's not, but it sort of is. Oh gosh, it's nearly 12 o'clock, so I think this will probably be my last card, because then we've got prizes. And I can also show you what this week's spot is. So are any of you taking part in the spot challenges? She says, knowing the answer, because I haven't seen any of your names on any of the spot challenges. Margaret a couple of times, Margaret McFadden a couple of times. But other than that, no. So my post for today will go live at 12. And it will have a link to the Spot Challenge website. You can enter from Instagram. The only thing I would say is if you're entering from Instagram, you need to include the hashtag the Spot Challenge. That's all we ask. And if you've got a blog or a website, you can link to the Spot Challenge from your website. So just mention it and link back, so that people can see who else has taken part. But it's a nice little group. We've got some amazing people on the design team. It's suddenly had a new boost of people taking part. It was very small, but then we realised that the problem with that is that if any of us have a problem, you know, like no power, no internet, those sorts of things, and at the moment, if you're in the US, dare I say, for fires, it means that there's not many of us left. Too busy making flower box cards for people at work. Oh, lovely. Not sure how to share the Spot Challenge. Okay, so Lorna, do you have an Instagram account? Because if you do, or even if you don't, you can set one up. It's easy. You go to the Spot Challenge website, and you will find at the bottom there's a thing called an inlinks, and you click on that, and it will let you load an image. So you have to have taken a picture, obviously, of your project, and you can just load the image. You don't have to have it on a website. You don't have Instagram. Okay, in which case probably you can't. Okay, Audrey, we will see you on the replay. I know you don't really do social media accounts. Not confident enough. Now that I can't believe. So I'm doing a challenge with my team at the moment, and some of them are on here, including some of them that have taken up the challenge. So I'm doing a guest stamper on my team page. So every month someone can be the guest stamper. I send them a stamp set of their choice up to a certain value, and then they get to make cards or projects. I'm not specific. They have to do one project a week, and I've been really pleased with the response. We're only just starting it, and I'm already booked until February is the next available slot. Right, so I'm going to cut this down. No, I'm going to do it that way, and I'll explain why in a minute. So I'm going to do that, and ooh, I've just had a thought. I am going to cut this as well, but actually I'm going to cut this narrower first. So how long's this? This is not quite 5 inches. Okay, so if I cut this at not quite 5, if I cut this at 1.5, that's going to be more than enough, but it gives me a good margin of error. So I'm going to cut this. I would like that central, but I'm never going to get it central because of the way the paper's falling on my trimmer. Mr. Brown on the way, so you can start on the Bird Ballad album. Excellent. So what I'm doing is I'm laying one piece of paper over the other, lining up the edges, and I'm going to cut both pieces at 3 3/4 inches. And because I've cut them together, I know they're the same size. Bird Ballad I designed that so long ago. I'm really pleased that it's still being used though. And I'm just going to cut this at let's do it at 3 inches for the sake of the measurement. So I've now got 3 pieces of card, paper even, and I'm going to grab a pretty peacock that hasn't got a rough edge, a pretty peacock matte, that's better. And what have I got in the way of card bases? Ooh, I've got a rich raspberry. Perfect. Right, so I've got a rich raspberry card base. I've got a pretty peacock matte. What I'm going to do is stick this on first. That's not as narrow as I was expecting. Okay, that's fine. I was expecting a wider margin, but then I realised I didn't cut it where I thought I'd cut it. It's fine. So I'm going to attach my paper, my larger piece of paper first, and I'm going to get it even there. So we've got this nice narrow margin. Then I'm going to add this one, and I am going basically around the whole of this because it's a smaller piece, and I'm going to line this up in the same way, so that that's even at the end and on the sides. And then I'm going to take this piece and stick it there, and it should all line up beautifully. Famous last words. And there is a bit of wiggle room, so I can bring this down a bit, which I kind of want it down a bit. And then just check that everything's lining up before we go for broke. There we go. So we've now got this nice panel. It's a great way if you haven't got a large enough piece of paper. Do you store your cut mats and cardstock? I do. Yes, Audrey, I do. I store them. So let me grab a set. Only because it's the one that's nearest to hand. So this is all my brights. So I have a session every now and again. I quite often will use some colours I use more than others. So for the colours that I use less frequently, you can see here, what I've done is I've taken one of the Colour Family packs, and I've just used it through my industrial guillotine and just cut them into mats. What I tend to do then is when I get a bit low on a colour is I'll sort them properly into colours like I have with these, and then I'll know what I'm missing. But yes, I do. I store everything in Colour Family. I know some people do it with in rainbow order, so in colours, so they have all the yellows, all the greens, etc. The reason I don't do that is because the whole theory behind the way that Stampin' Up! Do their colours is that if you want to do more than one colour next to each other, so in a project, now obviously if you're using designer series paper, you can use the colours that are in that paper. But if you're doing something, off-piste, so you're doing stamping and you want to add different colours to your imagery, If you stick within a colour family, it's going to work. Whereas if you cross between colour families, it may not work as well. But all of the colours in a colour family, you can mix and match. So you can, I mean, I know it sounds really odd, and I can guarantee I probably don't have them both cut. Oh no, I do. So what I mean is, and red's always quite a good one to do. So we've got real red. We've got cherry cobbler. They work. They're different reds, but they work together. They're both in the Regals. If we then add in Poppy Parade, it kind of doesn't. It's not horrid with that because they're the same. They're but in the same tonal range. That for me, just no. So that is why, and so if I get all the colour families, so let's do the Regals, because I think the Regals are actually quite a challenging one. So we've got Cajun Craze, we've got Old Olive, got lots of real red cut, can't think why, Crushed Curry, Garden Green, Blackberry Bliss, again, and Shaded Spruce. We're minus Rich Raspberry, so let me turn that over. They all actually kind of work together. Even if you take the greens and put them together, even though you've got a cool and then two warm greens, doesn't actually matter which way round you have them. They don't clash. Add in the yellow, so Crushed Curry doesn't clash. If we bring in Daffodil Delight and Garden Green, we start having problems. Really? Rich Raspberry in those? Ugh. So there is a theory behind it. It's not just, oh, they're bright, they're regal. I mean, there is a reason why they do it. Now, real red used to be in the brights, so it does kind of work with some of the brights, but the brights have changed. Blackberry Bliss was an in colour. Oh, I'll sort these out later. It's fine. I will sort those out later. It doesn't matter, rather than wasting time now. But you get where I'm coming from. So if you stick within a colour family, so that's why I do it that way. Anyway, right. So let me grab my mini black dimensionals. And I'm going to go middle and one at each end. I'm going to need to get some more out. And then we will finish this one off and we can do prizes. My cardstock that's not cut, I keep in colour family as well. But I've got that in hanging files. So, yes, again, they're in colour family. Those I am actually tempted to do alphabetically, only because it just might work better for me. But yeah, I'm procrastinating and generally waffling now. Right, okay, I'm going to use I'm going to go Happy Haunting, and I'm just going to use a piece of Whisper White. Whoops, I'm going to throw it around apparently. Whisper White, and I'm going to go, I will do Pretty Peacock, and I need a reasonably sized piece of Whisper White. That's probably okay. And just clean that off. And grab, what shall I grab? Ooh, let's use that. Right. So this is the stamp punch. Does that make sense? And I'm just going to cut it down with the stamp punch. Anyone who has been following me for any time at all knows that I like to do weird things with punches. And I don't mean weird, but, you know, look at the punch and see what else you can do with it. I need a post-it note. One post-it note that I've scribbled all over. So this is then going to go in... Ooh, no, it's going to go that way. So Wendy's order has just arrived. Mr. Brown has delivered. So I'm just lining up the indentations from the previous punch with this, and then we get a nice on our punch. Right, okay, a couple of dimensionals for that, and then we are going to be good to go. So I'm going to have my bats doing their thing. And my favourite embellishment of the moment, and I'm going to confess something in a minute. Ooh, I've just had another thought. Isn't it sad? Right. No, don't want those. I want these because I want to just take the white off the edge of this. So this is a Pretty Peacock sponge dauber. It was just looking a little too white. So yes, confession time with these. They're different sizes, top and bottom. How small should you go with scraps? It depends. Whisper White, I go really small. If it's a long, thin strip, I would tend to keep it because it's great for sentiments. If it's too tiny, life does get a bit... I mean, I could go through my bin, couldn't I? So I'm not keeping that. That's too small for me. But I kept it before I punched it. So yeah, I think if you can punch something out of it, keep it, but then use them. So have a session where you're using your scraps. Look at Bruno Bertucci's scrappy strips, or you could do, ooh, that's a thought, you could do a card background just with strips of paper. Hi Baz. So yeah, I would have a session using them up. If you get a colour coach, it would help. I give my team a colour coach, and it is on the demonstrator website. Alphabet dies as well, yes. So if you get a colour coach, it would help. Or as you get the card, punch or cut a piece off, put the name and families on it and keep them to hand. I do it that way. I'm slightly colourblind. Yeah, that works as well. Good idea. But yes, I do, I mean, this isn't technically a colour coach, it's the colour families. So I do these for my team. This is clearly out of date. I haven't done one for me for a while. But yes, you can. Oh, or look at, again, let's go back to Pinterest. Look at Pinterest, do colour combinations, search for colour combinations. So these are two sizes. I hadn't registered this, but they are only, it's 4mm and 5mm, so it's a tiny difference, which is why I hadn't spotted it. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Which I'm going to go in there. No, I'm going to go in there. So, yes, just have a look there. We quite often do colour challenges on the spot. Sorry to keep going on. But have a look at, do a search for colour challenges on the internet, and see what comes up. Because, again, it will give you ideas. But Pinterest does a lot of colour stuff. Brian King does a lot of colour combinations. He's really good to go and have a look at on Pinterest. So there we are. So that's that one. Let's have a quick recap of what we have done. If I can find them all, because they're buried. So we've done 3 cards using the turnovers. The only one I haven't used is the hearts and the bow. I mean, you could put bows on top of your decorations. So those are the ones that we've made. Not convinced by that one. That one, it's a bit fussy. Really like this one. Didn't think I would. Anyway, so on the subject of the spot, this week we're doing things with wings. So I was expecting everyone to go and do bats and stuff. So I've gone bird. My brain. So I'm doing my Halloween or Christmas You Choose series at the moment, mini series, 13 projects or 13 projects with a Christmas and a Halloween version, which is one of the reasons I've done this today, because this will be part of that. So I've done my Free as a Bird using the Feels Like Frost paper, which I have finally remembered to order yet another pack of. Christmas Wishes, can't remember what that came from. Yes, I can. Banner Year. And I've just coloured my Free as a Bird with, of course you do. I do as well. Sorry, for those of you watching on YouTube, Audrey was saying she prefers the tartan one. And I do too, so that's good. So yes, so this is the Free as a Bird, cinnamon cider, crumb cake, pumpkin pie, and poppy parade for the inking. This is the iridescent ribbon from the Snowflake Splendor Suite, which I've coloured with crumb cake, just with a blend to get the... No, it wasn't crumb cake. It was grey granite, because I've used grey granite as the mat. Grey granite technically isn't in the paper, but for this pattern, it worked really well. And then for my Halloween version, I've turned my bird into a crow, raven, you choose. So yeah, so that was smoky slate and basic black blends with a pumpkin pie eye. So those are those. So now we get the exciting drum roll. Who is the winner of the prize from 2 weeks ago? The prize was the flower faceted gems, which were in the last annual catalogue. And the winner is Marilyn. So I will ask Marilyn if you can contact me to claim your prize. If you are overseas, and I have a sneaking suspicion you might be, we can do tutorial instead, other than the 2 mega bundles. And for this week, we have got the Check You Out stamp set, which is perfectly clean, new. So that's for this week. Oh, Audrey, I'm sorry you had a robin die this morning. He flew into your kitchen window. Oh, they do have a habit of doing things like that. Anyway, so there we go. Before the sun comes sneaking, well, it is already sneaking in. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today. For those of you who haven't already shared, if you share this, you may be in with a chance to win the Check You Out stamp set. If you're overseas, then I will send you a tutorial bundle of your choice that isn't one of the mega bundles. Do remember that we've got the stamp sale starting in a few hours, under 12 hours, certainly in the UK. Obviously, it will start in different times depending on where you are in the world. So do have a look at the stamp sale. Don't forget to look at the Guess and Go starter kit, and particularly when we've got the stamp sets, which I believe you can put discounted stamp sets into your starter kit and get more in your starter kit. So do bear that in mind. So thank you very much indeed. Hope you have a wonderful day. For those of us in the southern part of the UK, let's enjoy the summer while we still have it today. Keep safe, keep well wherever you are in the world. Wear a mask, wash your hands, all that good stuff. And I will see you again very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye. We now have the embarrassing bit where I have to spend 5 minutes ending the video, because it seems to take 5 times for me to actually succeed in doing it. Yes, I want to end the video.